Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, next generation of Baltimore sports talk. I am your enduring starting host, Matt Soroka, and as always, I'm joined by a guy now coming live from the winter meetings and future home of the Orioles, the button lover, Josh Soroka.
No, I'm not live in Nashville.
Oh, okay. So
I am.
Where I was misinformed. I got some bad info there.
Yeah. You know what? I got some bad info too, because I thought 3 months ago that the Orioles agreed on a 30-year lease.
It was on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, he got his little standing ovation. He took all the attention off the team and put it on him.
Yep. And to take, and that was clinch miss to take away the from the celebration to make it about him, and it wasn't even a real deal.
Nope.
So yeah, it's been a weird winter meeting. It's feel like all the talk is about the lease and about Jackson Holiday. So that's, to me, that's been my timeline of Orioles.
Yeah. Well, in honor of that, the Sell the Team shirts, Clown Nose shirts, are back up on Birdland Sports today.
Oh, good.
After I took them down when they made the 30-year announcement, I said, all right, you did something good. I'll take it down. Not knowing that we were just all lied to. So, it's back.
Good. Bring him back. Your audio sounds a little funny. Does it sound okay to you?
My audio sounds funny. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, it
quiet,
just sounds
loud, distorted. What's funny to you?
Yeah, it's just not clear. It's a little bit, it's almost like you're talking without a microphone at all, and it's not, I don't know how to describe it. It's just not crisp. It's not crisp, but that it lacks a crispness that I've come to expect in our conversations.
All right, let me oh, yeah. Why didn't you tell me that I'm not even talking through my microphone? It's going through the camera.
Oh, that's it. See, that would explain the lack of crispness. I knew something was off about it.
Yeah, so give me a minute.
Oh, there it is. I should be, Josh, based on this experience, I should be an audio engineer, I think.
No, you should just tell me because you're on the other end listening. So when I say it's all good before we hit record, you should give me a heads up.
Okay, Josh, I still hear your audio either way. It just sounds a little bit different.
All right. Sounds better now?
It sounds normal, yeah.
All right.
And then I'm thinking, like, is that how it always sounds? Or am I just not paying attention?
Yeah, it's that Nashville connection.
Yeah. I thought you were in a hotel room at Nashville.
Right.
Is Peter Angelos in Nashville checking things out? No, I don't think so.
No. Earlier today, I did have a conversation with someone in Nashville for the winter meetings. I was talking with Austin Hayes' agent this morning.
We love agents and winter meetings. That's one of my favorite topics here.
I was telling him about our history of agents and winter meetings.
Yeah, I wonder if that guy, our boy is still agenting out there somewhere.
I do not believe so.
Okay.
But anyway, he asked for the article. So I Googled a little Deadspin article and found us.
Yeah.
And it was 10 years ago that Mr. Josh Kuznick told us about some agents fighting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then I proceeded to read other articles about it from written where apparently there was a fight in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, it clearly was a fight. It was just clearly a fight. Who was involved? Was Dave Stewart involved?
And Dave Sheffield.
Oh, it's Dave Sheffield. Is that who it was? Okay.
Yeah, Sheffield. And so Kuznick told us the wrong person where there was clearly a fight.
Yeah.
So that was 10 years ago.
Well, we got some wild stories about him. Yeah.
Do we have more? We have more stories about him.
Well, I don't want to get into it.
You have to remind me. When I was talking to Austin Hayes' agent, I said we did a little bit with Kuznick, but he seemed a little out there.
Yeah, and no, I like the dude. No disrespect to him, but he's a little bit out there. Like I remember we were talking about him becoming like a daily or weekly guest to do a weekly segment.
Yeah.
And he wanted to charge some astronomical price.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, we don't even make any money. We're not
Yeah.
gonna pay you. He just wasn't.
Yeah, he wanted us
up
to,
with what we're and he had all these. He was like a big talker, as I guess agents should be, saying, if you do this segment, you're gonna get so many listeners and all this stuff. Yeah,
and it wasn't. Yeah, that's true. He did. He wanted us to. Now, someone took him up on that offer because he went over to a Nationals website and did a podcast with those guys.
Oh, okay. Good.
So they must have paid him. And then I know he was doing stand-up comedy because he came up as a recommendation on TikTok. And it is some of the worst jokes I've ever seen.
Don't need it. It's hard to be a stand-up comedian, but he does have something going for him. He seems to have the kind of attitude where he's got a big ego. And so even if and comedians, I would imagine, have to have a big ego because sometimes your jokes don't land. And you got to knock it down on yourself. And he doesn't seem someone who gets down on himself.
Right. No, he's got a big ego. But the agent for Austin Hayes does not have a big ego.
All right.
And
is he going to be a weekly segment on the pod?
We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Not weekly, but I might get him to come on and give us a little winter meetings recap or talk about being an agent. But this morning's conversation was about a guest for our podcast.
Okay.
So
I can guess who maybe that guest is.
You can guess who the conversation would be about.
Yeah.
And he should be visiting this offseason.
Well, hopefully before he gets traded. Either
way.
Michael Elias did say, they asked him about, and he said everyone's on the table. Well, he didn't say everyone. He said, there is a prospect that's not on the table, but like most of the prospects and major league talent, like he's having conversations about all these guys.
Yes.
Which is understandable. But Josh, speaking of guests, you missed last week. I'd be excited to talk to your guest, but I was pumped to talk to my guest.
So if you I want to ask you because I listened to it last week. You had the author. I bought the Baltimore Bandit book.
Oh, nice.
For Owen this week. So he's finishing a book, and that's the next one we're going to read. How impressed was your son?
Yeah, he wasn't that impressed.
All right. So Austin Hayes will impress him a little more?
I don't think so. I think at Sad's age of 6. I think you're not impressed by people. I mean, he's gone to minor league games. Like he's talked to Heston Kjerstad and Heston Kjerstad and Ricky Bradford.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
he just assumes this is how life is.
Yeah, I don't think he thinks, like maybe we can just call up Austin Hayes and talk to him. Like I'm not sure if he gets it's a big deal.
I get a little bit of that because Owen thinks that like our podcast, that 336 is like the biggest thing in Baltimore because every time I've taken to him a game there, someone has said hi.
Yeah.
So he thinks that because of that, we're like celebrities up there, which is fun. I'm going to let him continue to believe
that. Yeah. No, but it was a good conversation. And you never know about these authors. Are they going to be able to hold a conversation and stuff? But he was good. So it was a good conversation. And we've been emailing a little bit back and forth. I'm an idea guy, throwing out ideas. Pretty much, we've been emailing back and forth a little bit. I throw out some ideas. He says, there's no way that's going to work. I said, I get it. Here's some other ideas. And he says, those are cool, but there's no way that's going to work. So we've continued.
So you did a little of this on the podcast.
Yeah, so it's continued off the podcast via email.
Yeah. So wait, are you just pestering him?
He asked me if I had ideas, and I said,
all right.
I got ideas, buddy. But I think he's done with me at this point because I've shared so many ideas, and all of them are impractical. So,
all right, I liked your idea about the kids being around like big events in baseball.
Yeah, like the banging of the trash cans.
Yeah, I like all that.
Yeah,
I don't know how you could have him on Section 336 and not bring up like 2131.
Oh yeah, I know. And I was not happy with the Baltimore Bandit because, and I didn't say this to him. I hope he's not listening. I love all his books. I read them all, but I wasn't happy with Baltimore Bandit because. He often does in his books historical references to historical players on those teams.
Right.
And the historical person he references in his Baltimore Bandit is Babe Ruth, who he also talks about in the Yankees book.
Yeah, I hate Babe Ruth being associated as an Oriole. Yeah, I don't like that.
I know he's a Baltimore guy, right? But I would rather be centered around Brooks Robinson or Jim Palmer or
Yes.
I don't know if you can do living guys.
Yeah, you can't do the ghost of Jim Palmer.
Right. And I don't even know how kind of copyright stuff does with. I don't know if you can talk about. I don't know how you can talk about
like
people.
real people's
I don't know how it
names.
works.
I don't know. No idea.
But yeah, it was more on Babe Ruth than I thought.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, the 2131, the Iron Man, it would be a good
an Iron Man one.
That's why if you were on the podcast, you could have suggested that.
Right. Or they could have done the ghost of Earl Weaver and could have been out at the tomato patch.
Yeah, and cursing out the umpire.
Yeah.
That might be a PG-13 version.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, it was a great interview. And it's cool to mix something up. That's what's cool about the off season is we can try to put some stuff like that together.
Well, it was the perfect week because it was the week before winter meetings, so there was nothing happening. I mean, a couple of rumors, and we'll get into some rumors, but pretty quiet so far. Winter meetings. We'll get into it. But before we talk about winter meetings, Josh, let's not let the people wait any longer. We need a little league. Let's talk about the baby birds. The baby birds. The Little League Orioles.
The 10U Orioles.
The 10U Orioles. This is Jackson Holiday 20. He's like an old man compared to these guys.
Right. So if you were keeping track during the season, we won one game. We tied one game. We tied a second game that then, because of time, went backwards an inning. So we ended up being at a loss.
Okay, so you didn't tie; it's a loss. But you can count it, everyone. In the record book of the standings, it's a loss. So your record was 1-20-1. Got it.
Yes, something like that. Well, I think it's like 1-10-1. Okay, anyway,
1-10-1.
Everyone gets into the playoffs. We just have the lowest seed in the playoffs. So we go into the first game because of rain and Thanksgiving. It was 28 days since our last game.
Yeah, that's probably good news for you. Were you having practices in the meantime?
No practices because I tried. They wouldn't allow us to use the fields.
Oh yeah. See, so the other teams weren't practicing either.
No one was practicing.
See, that's an advantage for you. Yeah, you don't want anyone playing baseball. So because that's an advantage to the worst team. Yeah.
So everyone's
rusty.
So this was Tuesday night. So we go in, we play Tuesday. It's like
this is like an Orioles layoff situation.
Yeah, and it's
too long of a layoff.
I'll tell you what, I was talking to a guy from work on the way to the game, and I mentioned that this is our last game, and Owen got mad at me because
well said, Owen.
I just said it as if we're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I did what I did for this playoff game is
are you playing the top seed? Are you playing the best team in the league?
We were playing the best team. No.
Or did they get a bye or something?
One team got a bye.
Okay. So we
were playing the second best team.
Wow.
All right. So I pulled out all my management. I worked on the stupid lineup multiple times. I looked at stats throughout. I looked at all the kids' stats.
You're looking at WOBA. You're looking at exit velocity.
I got Game Changer open. One stat matters to me. On base percentage.
Okay. OBP.
I look at that. I line up.
You're Billy Bean over there looking at OBP. I love it.
Yeah. I balance the pitchers. I look at the pitchers and I try to decide what to do because I've got a guy that can throw real hard, but they have a rule that you can only pitch 2 innings. Doesn't matter how many pitches, just 2 innings.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so do I come out strong with him? Do I put him late? I do all this where I put in a starter for 1 inning, then I bring in the hard thrower for 2, and then another guy for 2.
Yeah.
I get it all the way down.
Coach your butt off.
I coach my butt off. I am yelling at these kids to steal. I'm giving them as they go up to the. I'm coaching third base, but every time a new kid gets on deck, I'm going up and huddling up with him and giving him the game plan for the pitcher.
Yeah,
and giving him the game plan, and I'm just coaching my butt off. And we won this game. We won. We beat this team. I believe the final score was 8-6.
Oh wow!
Believe. So we walked away with this game, easily won. Had the lead the whole time. Excellent game. The fastball kid that I put in pitched 2 immaculate innings.
Wow.
3 up, 3 down. It was outstanding. So then we go to the semifinals.
Isn't that immaculate inning where you don't even throw any balls? You just strike out?
Yeah.
3 guys on 9 pitches? Is that what we got a 9-pitch situation?
I don't know if it was 9 pitches,
Okay.
but it was.
All right, I think that's what immaculate inning is.
Yeah, I know.
You shouldn't be throwing down those words.
I know. I don't remember.
Right.
I'd have to look at the stats. But he got 3 up, 3 down right away. So then so we win that game. And kids are going crazy. Everyone's excited because we're not supposed to win anything. And we just beat the second best team, which means we now have to play on Thursday night. We had to play the best team in the league,
All right,
the Braves. Yeah. The Braves. Now,
so do they do a reseeding, unlike Major League Baseball?
No, it's not a reseed. And it's just
so
how
the 2 would have played the 1. The second best team would have played the best team if they would have won?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
We don't get into the intricacies. All right, so you're playing the number 1 team.
So anyway, I played the number 1 team. It's the Braves. I hate playing the Braves.
I do too. They're the worst in my league too.
Their coach does not teach the kids baseball. He teaches them how to win at Little League. And all
that's
the little
2 very different things. Yes.
Like the simple thing of if you walk a batter, if you're a batter and you get walked, once you run to first base and then you immediately turn and run to second base.
Yeah. Because
it's 10U, so kids will panic and throw it to the wrong spot.
Right.
And not be paying attention because they walked you, so they're getting ready for the next batter.
Yeah, that's not baseball. Yeah, I got
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're playing them, and I'm already stressed because I do not like this guy. I do not like his team. I don't like playing it. So it's like I got to coach my butt even bigger.
Right.
So
even bigger. Yeah.
Right. So I do all that. I balance. I come up with plans how to do it. We go out there. We take the lead right away. We're doing well. We fall behind, but then we get the lead back, and now we've got a good lead. We got a 4-run lead. Kids are feeling good. Everyone's excited. And then we have some problems. We have one of their players tries to steal third. I've been preparing for this all playoffs.
Yeah.
We never pick anyone. We never throw down to third. We just let the catcher hold the ball. But I put my fielder at third base, and I've been working with him on how to catch and tag. So we throw down to third base, we catch and tag, we get him out. They call him safe. His foot never got to the bag because my third baseman blocked it with his foot, but the umpire still called him safe.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you've been pairing and you got him, and it just doesn't. Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah,
it was
you should reward good plays like that. Yeah,
had a play, had some missed throws, where it's and some bang plays that didn't go our way, some missed throws and missed plays because they're 10 years old.
Yeah. So possibly the umpires were in the Braves' pocket. I don't know if they funded here, but
so then let's say it's the eighth, it's the bottom of the eighth. It's the eighth. We're losing by 3. We scored 5 runs, so we're up by 2.
Nice.
So now that inning ends.
That's quite a ball game.
Yeah. Now there's time limit rules. Remember, I told you about this.
Yeah.
So here's what this coach does. Goes out as we're flipping to the next inning, goes out to the umpire and says, how much time? Umpire says 7 minutes. So the coach tells his catcher to stay in the dugout and hang out. Take your time.
Oh, yeah, this guy's a piece of work.
Because if we can't finish this bottom half of the inning, then it's going to have to go back to the previous inning and they
win.
The
score was.
Yeah. So I have to then say something to the umpire, and the umpire gets the kid out there. Yeah. I forgot to say that also earlier in the game, he tried to argue that his scorekeeper had one of my batters batting in, like, say, the 4th inning and then leading off the 5th inning, which was not true at all. And we had to bring the game to a stop for me to show my scorebook, him show his scorebook, talk about it.
Oh, my gosh. That alone would make me so furious. Mind your own scorebook. Exactly. You coach.
Right. My parents are all fired up. My kids are fired up because they're irritated because of these stupid, cheap things. Yeah. Everyone's fired up.
This is how fights break out in 10 years.
Oh, totally. No, here's how fights break out. We're playing. They get one on. Then he steals his way to second. He gets a big hit at third, but we throw the ball in and we tag him, but they call him safe. So there's another out we didn't get. Then there's a ball hit, and we need to get the out at first base. We throw the ball to first base, but it's a little off target. But Owen catches it, and he tags the runner.
Yeah.
He tags the runner on the chest, and then the runner takes his arms and hits the glove, like punches the glove to knock the ball out.
Yeah.
Because again, we're back
That's
to
a heads up play back to back from Owen and from the runner. All right, I'd like to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the ball pops out when the guy hits it after the tag. So it was the tag, then another contact for the ball to pop out. The ump says because he hit it while Owen tagged him, then Owen's going to pull the ball out of his glove to throw it over to the pitcher because of the next guy runner.
Right.
And that's when the guy hits him. So it should have been a transfer drop. The umpire said no, it was he dropped it on the tag where it was bang bang. So we didn't get that call. So then the 2-run score, it's a tie game. And the other coach comes to me and goes, "You want to just end it now?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, we scored 2." I said, "Yeah, so it's tied." He said, "Yeah, but even if you get 3 outs, we can't end on a tie, so it'll go back to the previous inning, so we already won."
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, "What?" I said, "No." I said, "We're going to lose, rightfully so. Get out there and we're going to finish this game."
This guy's a dweeb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up losing the game. And all my kids were crying because we had a chance to win and we had things just not go our way. Parents were fired up and parents were yelling at the umpire. Parents were yelling at the other team. It was fired up. But you know what? My team was not supposed to be there. We weren't supposed to have a fight like this. And it was awesome as a coach to be able to see like some moves I made as a coach that were working in these 2 games. And it was really cool to see the players progress from where we were at the beginning of the season to now we can play baseball together.
Yeah.
So a really good season for my kids.
Yeah, no, that's great, Josh. I'm glad you got that win and a competitive game against the Braves. And, often, and this is a good life lesson. Listen, the Yankees win a lot. These jerk teams, they win a lot. It's a good lesson.
I cannot coach that way to 10-year-olds. I want you to learn baseball, not all the cheap tricks.
Yeah, because winning is not everything in 10U.
No,
and you can't convince me it is. And he doesn't get that.
No, he just wants to win.
Yeah, I also think, by the way, because there were some horrendous calls.
He then lost in the finals, so I was glad
good.
To do that.
Yeah, that's a happy ending. There's some horrendous calls, and Silas was the victim of a couple just obviously horrendous calls. But they kind of make me happy because he was all upset. And then I think those are good lesson moments to say, listen, you got bad calls. This is part of baseball. Right. This happens to everybody and you got to deal with it. You just can't sit there and cry about it. You just got to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think those are, I'm actually pro bad umping sometimes.
I had that conversation multiple times to my team. Over in the dugout because you couldn't.
It's a larger conversation about fairness, right? Like we all want everything to be perfectly fair. Well, that's not the people.
I had one kid that was mad at me the whole game because I wouldn't let him catch, and it's because he's not a great catcher, and we're in the playoffs, and I'm like, I do want to win. Like I'm trying to win, so I'm not going to set us up to fail. I'm trying to put the best players at their best positions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. There's kids on my team want to pitch every game.
Right. Exactly.
Play pitcher. All right. Well, Josh, thanks for that. So you're shutting down. First of all, I think it's ridiculous. I guess the delay, but that we're playing baseball at the end of November. That's kind of silly.
Yeah. Yep. It was cold for both these games too.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I get a few months off. And then I think it's March. I saw we got the sheet to sign up by January. So I think it's end of February or March that the season starts.
Oh my.
So we're rolling into basketball season now, but I am not coaching that.
Okay. Is Owen playing basketball?
Yeah, Owen's playing basketball for the first time
nice.
In a couple weeks.
Yeah, I feel like I played basketball and I was pretty good, but my first year I played was in the 6th grade. Because I just feel like for basketball, you got to be a little bit older to not double dribble every time to get the ball off the rim. Like it's not a 7-year-old's game. It's you got to be a little bit older.
No, and I think it's 8-foot hoops.
Okay,
little hoops. And Owen's 10, so
yeah,
and he's big for his size. So plus, I'm excited because
I think he's technically 9, but let's not we can.
Oh, you're right. He turns 10 in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because I think basketball, more than any sport, helps you with every other sport.
Oh yeah,
Like, I
the
think
hand-eye
basketball helped you a
coordination,
lot with
conditioning,
baseball.
all that stuff.
So,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, no, I love basketball.
Yep. But I'm not. I stayed away from coaching that. I said I need some time off for coaching, and I'll coach baseball again in the spring.
Yeah. I mean, I coached basketball. You helped me out one year.
Yeah.
Even at the high school varsity level, though I don't know if I could go back and do it because I feel like that was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I feel like basketball has changed a lot and just become super competitive at the high school level,
it's
much
now
more than when I coached.
Yeah, it's now a superstar game instead of a team game.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, that's good Little League talk. Let's get to some Orioles talk. Actually, we were talking Orioles. Let's take just some big Orioles talk.
All right, where do you want to start?
I don't know. I mean, we can get to Mike Elias quotes. We can get to, you already mentioned the lease. I don't know if I'm saying anything about the lease.
I mean, it's an embarrassment. Let's just get the lease out of the way. It's an embarrassment. And the fact that now the city is coming out and being like, we might need to go month to month.
Yeah. Which
it's a total
that will happen. That's
100%.
Yeah.
And that's an embarrassment as an ownership.
Yeah.
And it's all over greed. Because why is the same deal that the Ravens signed not good enough for him? Because he wants all this land to build restaurants and hotels and whatever for himself. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done anything to earn that right. He has a team because his dad bought it many years ago.
Yeah. And
so
I want his attention on building the Baltimore Orioles, not building restaurants.
Right.
Right. And
I want him to worry about extending Adley and Gunnar.
Yeah.
Not about is TGI Fridays going to come into my battery.
Yeah. I mean, if he extended Gunnar and Adley tomorrow, I would say, Josh, pull down the clown shirts, go freaking month to month in the lease. I don't care. Go month to month for the next 10 years. I don't care. As long as you're doing other things like building a winner here in Baltimore and showing you're committed to having this team win here in Baltimore by paying your players and signing free agents. But if you're not going to do that on the one hand, and on the other hand, you're quabbling and not signing the lease to leave, and no one thinks Orioles are leaving, but this leaves kind of rumors out there floating about it. And so you're not doing either thing. You're not taking care of the business side of things. You're not taking care of the Orioles side of things. And so we have no choice but to think you're a cotton-headed Niggy Muggins.
Well, and even more than that, you went on the Jumbotron and you made this great announcement to get everyone to cheer for you when the attention should have been on the team on the field.
Yeah.
You focused it on you.
Total ego hog. Yeah.
There was no reason to make that announcement.
Because there was no announcement to make. Exactly. Right. You know, that's like a guy who's like just excited about a business deal and so tweets it out before it actually happens. Like, you got to slow your roll. Josh, there was I want to get this out of the way too.
I wonder, do they go month to month, or do you think the Maryland Stadium Authority just comes up and puts some chains on Camden Yards?
Yeah,
because I would kind of be all for the chains on Camden Yards
for the Stadium Authority playing hardball with
Angela. Like we're talking January 1st. Like, put the chains on there for a month. Show them that, hey, it's a lease. Like, I can't, if I don't want to. I mean, I own a home, but if I was renting somewhere, I can't just say I don't want to rent. And like you got to give me a better deal.
I think the bank owns the house more than you do, but
yeah, you're right. So like, if I told the bank, I want to renegotiate, and they say, oh well, you've got, I still have to make payments. Like a lease is, I don't know. It's like, it's very frustrating because he thinks he's in control.
Well, and you think it's a greed issue, and I think more like I fall down more on the incompetence issue. Like, I don't think he knows what he's doing, and I think he's in over his head, and I don't think he has any business savvy, and I just don't think very highly of him as being kind of this business person, and so I think he doesn't know what he's doing, and therefore he can't get this deal done because he doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe greed is some part of that, but I don't know. I think if he was competent, he could work out a deal that would make him happy and make the Orioles happy, because either way, there's a lot of money coming to the Baltimore Orioles, however you slice this thing.
And the frustrating thing is the deal was worked out a while ago, where it was all laid out. Here's the millions of dollars we're giving you to upgrade and fix things at Camden Yards. Well, guess what? Not a penny of that is going to get spent this offseason.
And wasn't part of it like he didn't want to make a deal with Hogan, so he was waiting for Wes Moore to come in, and then now because he can't work with Wes Moore.
Yeah, because he donated like $5,000 to Wes Moore's campaign, and he thought that would buy him.
That's what I'm saying. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Anyone knows you have to give at least $500,000 to get things done.
He's an idiot, and you would hope that this offseason they would work on the jumbotron, work on the sound system, all this stuff, but they can't do anything.
Yeah, they don't
because
have any
it's
money
Los
for it.
Angeles.
Yeah.
Well, they can't do anything because they can't agree to the game. They can't agree to who's even going to be in there.
Are we going to have an Oakland A's situation? Should I expect to go to the Bowie Bay Sox Stadium to watch the Orioles next year?
Well, the Orioles don't own that either. So we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Norfolk Tide were just sold.
Oh, were they to ownership? Did you try to put a bid up there in there for them?
No, but I know someone who was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Instead, he ended up selling the team he already owns to the same people.
Okay.
So I tried.
I think the Macon Bacon either just went on sale or is going to be on sale shortly. The Macon Bacon.
Okay.
So
I'll mention this to him because
I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than Norfolk Tides.
He just sold the isotopes in the process of
Albuquerque.
Yeah, he was trying to buy the Tide, and instead this big group came in to buy the Tide, and then they said, "Hey, we'll buy the isotope also."
Oh wow!
That
backfired on him, huh?
Yeah, they bought like 8 minor league teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he got paid, so now he's looking for a new team to buy.
All right. Well, Macon Bacon.
Yeah, maybe I'll get him on here and talk about that process sometime as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough about the lease.
All right.
He's in over his head.
All right. Josh, how do you feel about Buster Olney writing an article saying that Shohei Ohtani is silly for this whole secrecy free agency and missed a huge opportunity to promote baseball by being so secretive?
Didn't I call the whole thing silly last time we did the podcast talking about this? How I like keeping it secret is silly. You would think you would get more money and stuff and more leverage if you said, "Oh, I'm talking to the Blue Jays today, the Braves tomorrow, the Yankees on Wednesday."
And apparently Dave Roberts leaked that he met with the Dodgers. So Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, I think, are out on Ohtani because he leaked that they met with them. Also, I didn't realize I missed this story.
The Blue Jays thought they met about everyone thinks the Blue Jays met about Ohtani yesterday.
But no one will say a word about it. Yeah, no one in the Blue Jays will say a word.
I do think it's silly, but I also wonder if it's cultural and how much of it is that.
Josh, I missed this story, and it came up in the Buster Olney story, and somehow I missed this, but it made me laugh really hard. When Ohtani was announced as the MVP, and he accepted the MVP on TV, there was a dog with him. He had a cute little dog.
Okay.
Are you aware of this story?
No.
And so the reporters want to know, like, oh, what a cute dog. And so they asked the name of the dog, and like he didn't say, and so they kind of did some digging to try to sound it. So they talked to all of Ohtani's people, and Ohtani came back with a statement saying at this point he does not feel comfortable releasing the name of the dog and refused to say what the dog's name was. Isn't that kind of weird? You can say cultural.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with cultural, and maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like being in the spotlight.
Yeah,
and when he's this gigantic superstar.
Yeah, more evidence he's not for me. He's not a clubhouse guy. He might be a nice guy, but he's not. He goes to the beat of his own drummer. He's not a good clubhouse guy. I don't want him. I'll pass. Also, by the way, he's not a winner. He's not a winner. Everywhere he goes, he loses. So I prefer winners on my team. So that's just me.
What if it's just an embarrassing name?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, it could. Well, then make up a name. Who cares? Then come up with a new name right now. Who cares? No one's going to know. But why keep it a secret is the weirdest thing to say.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
at this point. We're not releasing the name.
You're right. You're right. A secret name. Yeah. Why not say like Fido?
Yeah.
Or say
anything you want, or the real name. No one cares.
Right.
They're actually doing it to make Ohtani more human. They're trying to humanize him by giving a dog a friendly dog story. Everyone loves dogs, and he's like, this is like an easy one to make people like you more. Name the dog, and he refuses.
Right. You should have said, "Oh, it's Babe after Babe Ruth," or Reggie after Reggie Jackson. Like, give it a baseball name. Make it up.
Yeah, it's just kind of
or it's
weird.
just dog. What if in Japan they don't name their dogs? And what if it's just dog?
Yeah. Well, even that would be fine. But on the other hand, the other extreme is like the LeBron James, the decision where everyone kind of hated LeBron James for that. So on the one hand, I think they can't win.
You're right.
Here's the exact quote. Ohtani's camp was not prepared to release the dog's name. It's just that's funny. All right, Josh.
Well, it shows you how protected he is. Yeah. That his camp's like they don't have permission to release his name. So,
all right.
Hopefully it ends soon. Signed somewhere, not the Blue Jays.
All right. So let's get to a couple of names that have been linked with the Orioles. This cold stove. The first one that came out, I think, was it was announced that the Orioles, and this is according to MLB trade rumors, the Orioles have shown interest in Josh Hader and Jordan Hicks.
Yes.
Josh, could you see how do you feel about a Josh Hader type situation for the Orioles?
I mean, a Josh Hader reunion seems to make sense.
Even at the contract could be $100 million for a reliever and a long-term contract for a reliever when you have, Bautista waiting in the wings.
Yeah, well, the only way it's $100 million if it's like 5-6 years.
Sure.
Long time. So, yeah, I could be perfectly fine with a future bullpen of Hader and Bautista together in there. I could also, I don't know. I guess Hader has been a bullpen arm for a while, so you wouldn't move him back into a rotation spot. But no,
he's a bullpen guy. He's going to be a closer. He's projected on the Fangraphs to get 4 years, $72 million.
No problem.
I would turn down a $20 qualifying offer.
I would do that. I like Josh Hader. Yeah. So, and you can always use him in the bullpen, even with Bautista, and then you shorten the game. You shorten what you expect from your starter. It's nothing but good things.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if the Orioles are going to spend $70 million on a reliever, but
it's fun to be in the conversation, though, isn't it? That like other people besides just us and Rock are saying, "Oh, the Orioles might be interested in this guy."
Yeah, I mean, I'm of two minds. On the one hand, it seems like how many times did Elias say, and he's also been linked to Robert Stevenson, a reliever for Tampa Bay, who had a really good year. But how many times has Elias said now, he did in the trade deadline a lot. I feel like he did it last offseason where they made some run at some big names. It just didn't work out, right? Like he keeps on saying, we were trying to almost implying they were trying to go with Verlander, and it just didn't work out.
Right.
So it seems like Elias is trying to make a big move, which means he's able to make a big move. Like he has the permission to make this big move.
Maybe.
But it just hasn't lined up. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, and maybe. And I hope that's the case. And I would like some of these details of some of these things to leak and us be able to learn and understand from there, because otherwise it's like saying, oh, well, this person, like saying, oh, yeah, I said hi to this person in passing by, and then going and
right. Saying, I called his agent. I called his agent to see if he was interested in doing a 1 year, 2 year option.
Right.
And he wasn't. So then I hung up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to know is how real are these? Did you really try to make a big move to get Verlander? Or did you go to John Angelos and say, can I get Verlander? And he said no.
Yeah. And I know you would never release the players' names because that would be awkward to say we almost traded this guy and this guy and this guy.
Right.
But there's no way to know kind of how serious they are. And even with the Josh Hader thing, and now the other guy rumored, and those are free agent signings, bullpen guys, and I would be happy with Robert Stevenson. I would be thrilled with Josh Hader.
Yep.
But then there's also been trade talk, like Dylan Cease has been linked with the Orioles.
Yes.
Dylan Cease, who kind of had a down year last year, but prior to last year has been a really great pitcher. In 2022, he's a runner-up to the Cy Young.
Right.
Not as good last year, but people think he's just a blip on the radar. But could potentially be a near top rotation starter. So that could be another possibility for the Orioles. How would you feel about the Orioles coming up with a prospect package for Dylan Cease? Are you all on board that train?
No, I like that. I like Dylan Cease because I trust him as a long-term guy in our rotation. It's a really weird.
He's got 2 years under his contract, so you get him for 2 years at least.
Yeah, it's a really odd offseason for me because I look at this and it's like, to bring in a confident pitcher would make me feel good. But I also look and I'm like, I feel okay if we just move forward with what we've got as well.
Josh, I woke up this morning, and this is why I can never be GM, because I wake up every morning and feel differently about everything. But in terms of the Orioles, I woke up this morning, I said, screw it. I said, I don't want anybody. I don't want us to trade for anybody. I don't want any free agents. I don't want anybody. Let's run this back with this squad. You had Jackson Holiday to this offense. You had Kerstedt as an everyday player to this offense. You had a full year of Jordan Westberg. Our offense is better than last year. Our offense is kicking butt. You have another year of Adley adjusting to major league pitching. Like, our offense is going to be crushing next year. It's pitching staff. Bring back Kyle Bradish as a top rotation starter. We don't need to sign a top rotation starter. Kyle Bradish, if he just threw more innings, would have been in the top 3 for an ace consideration, for a Cy Young consideration. He's going to pitch more innings this year. He's going to be the Cy Young this year. Then you got a full year of John Means, right? The bullpen, I ain't worried about the bullpen either. Give me my guys. Put Tyler Wells and DL Hall in the back of the bullpen, and our bullpen problem solved. Let's go. I want to go with this squad. We're going to roll out and win 100 games, and we don't need anybody else. Just take this squad. That's how I was feeling this morning. Though tomorrow I probably feel like, let's sign everybody.
No, and that's 100%. That's the odd thing about this, is because I look and I'm like, all right, well, I've got Bradish, I've got Rodriguez, I got Means. I feel real comfortable with those 3 as a 1,
That's
2,
a good
3.
top 3. That's a good. Rodriguez is going to be good this year. Rodriguez is going to be good.
I love Tyler Wells as a starter for that first half. So if he could pull that together for a full year, there's your 4th guy. Who cares who pitches the 5th?
Well, Dean Kramer. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say. It could be Kramer, it could be DL Hall. You bring in Hader into this back end, and I feel really comfortable. And you're right. Earlier today, Elias was talking about how he expects Jackson Holiday to make a push in spring training to make the starting rotation or starting team.
Yep.
So, yeah, I love it. And it's funny to be in this position of like, for years we've been saying, just sign pitching, just sign pitching, just sign pitching. And now it's like, I don't want you to sign pitching unless it's a big name. Unless it's Dylan Cease or someone better. Okay, I'll take it. But don't give me another Cole Irvin type guy.
Yeah.
And don't try to pass me, we signed this 5th starter and now you're going to be excited.
That guy from Japan, what's his name, that we were linked to?
Yeah.
As a potential 6th starter talent.
Yeah, I was glad we didn't sign him so you wouldn't have me read his name.
Yeah.
What was his name? Nayuki Yusawa.
Okay.
Uwasawa.
Yeah, it wasn't
Uwasawa.
Yamamoto, who's everyone's talking about as being a
no.
It wasn't him. Yeah.
No, I wish it was Yamamoto.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And hey, I guess we also, this other Orioles news is we got our new pitching coach.
Yeah.
And this Drew French since the last time we spoke. So
yeah,
maybe, I don't know. I wasn't concerned about our pitching to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have, I can't break down the Orioles pitching coaching. I don't know his. I mean, we had Darren Holmes left, and what was it? Was it Holt who was reassigned to a different position? So yeah, all right, fine. In terms of kind of other Mike Elias kind of quote-worthy news, I thought a couple interesting quotes. One, he said it's unlikely, Josh, that they participate in the Rule 5 draft tomorrow.
Right.
Would you be surprised if the Orioles don't take a pick in the Rule 5 draft?
I can't remember the last time we did not take a Rule 5 guy, but I can see saying, hey, the way our roster is right now, we don't want a placeholder. Like, we can't give up a spot on a guy that's got to stay with us all year. So yeah. I can see that, and I can see not taking a Rule 5 guy because of that. Where are you going to take a Rule 5 guy in your bullpen? Well, we're talking about wanting to bring in more bullpen arms. Where are you going to put them on your bench? We're pretty deep, both in the outfield and the infield. How are we going to use a Rule 5 guy? I totally can see us not doing it this year.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. I think it's something like 16th or 17th straight year we draft from Rule 5, but we're getting to the point where both our 40-man is too full, and then also, yeah, we have just too much. There's too much talent. We can't hide anybody for a year. Yeah, we're not.
No,
that's not us.
It's a weird off season because we immediately jumped into all our guys are ready. Oh, we're ready to go, and this gradual thing, it really feels like we hit liftoff because everyone's ready to go and it's all moving.
Yeah, two points. First, I want to go back and just mention this real quick. We were talking about Jackson Holliday having a chance at open day roster. Just turned 20 yesterday. By the way, everyone is saying, oh, Mike Elias slow plays these guys. Oh, he didn't call up Adley when he was ready. Oh, he's service time manipulation.
Right. Fake injury. Yeah. Is what they said.
Gunnar was caught up early, or he was caught up at a reasonable time. One Rookie of the Year. Therefore, the Orioles have a bonus draft pick. I think the 34th draft pick because Gunnar Henderson and when the Orioles caught him up. And also, by the way, Jackson Holliday turned 20. We promoted him from Single A to Norfolk at the age of 19. That's the opposite of service time manipulation. That's the opposite of slow playing. So I don't want to hear any more about this service time manipulation crap. Mike Elias promotes guys when they're ready, and Jackson Holliday is a textbook case of guy who just proved he was ready at every level. And now we're going to find out if he's going to be ready for the majors. I follow him now on. He's got some kind of hitting on X that focuses on hitting. It's just him and Ethan Holliday, his brother, just dropping bombs on there. So yeah, I think Jackson Holliday, I'll call it right now. He's making the open day roster. Yeah, because he's going to come freaking ready to play in spring training, and he's going to make it so the Orioles have to put him on the roster.
Yeah, they said it. Yep, and they said he'd be playing shortstop and some second base.
Yeah, so, that's an interesting conversation. I assumed he'll play more second base because of Gunnar, but I
went the other way. I think you'd put him at short and put Gunnar at third.
Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, you put those two guys over there, you're going to have a real good defensive lineup over there.
Put Westbrook at second.
Yeah.
And Westbrook at second. I like that. I like it.
Yep, because Gunnar's arm, you would think, plays really well over at third.
Yeah. Shoot, and then I was going to make another point. I had 2 points. That was one. And I was going to make another point about what we were just talking about, but then I went back talking about Jackson Holliday, forgetting the point of what we were talking about.
Well, we were talking about how we're good with our guys. We're happy with our guys. And that also falls in line with Mike Elias about extensions.
Oh, real quick before the extension comment, because I just remembered. Yeah, we're good with our guys. Other teams, when we're linked to people, partly because we see these as holes, other teams have holes. The Yankees have holes in their lineup and starting pitching. The Braves, actually, for how good the Braves are, I know because I'm here in Braves country, they have holes in their starting rotation. Honestly, Josh, I don't see any holes in our roster at all. I think a lot of people perceive 2 holes. They perceive, I'm talking too much about holes here, it's making me a little uncomfortable, but they perceive, let me use a different word than holes. They perceive kind of 2 areas of weakness in our team. One is starting pitching. And I think one of the reasons they do this is because our starting pitching laid an egg in the playoffs.
Correct.
However, Kyle Bradish's season, Grayson Rodriguez, we just talked about it. I'm good with those top three. I know everyone says we need an ace. I'm good with rolling with Bradish, Rodriguez, and Means up against, most top threes in baseball. Now, would I like another good starter? Obviously, I would. But we could roll tomorrow as is and be okay. And likewise, the bullpen. And I think the bullpen problems are answered nicely by moving Halls and Wells there. Now, I still think Hall should have a shot as a starter. So if you get Hader, then you don't really have to stress about putting Hall in the back end of the bullpen. You can try him out at starting pitching, knowing you have more depth in the bullpen with Hader. But if we needed to roll with Wells and Halls in the bullpen, we could roll tomorrow, and we'll still be like this team starts tomorrow, and we're the favorite to win the AL East. So we got a team we can roll with.
Yeah, no holes.
Yeah, that's my point. Other people's got holes, and they're waiting for someone like Shohei Ohtani to come and fill their hole. And I'm saying we don't need any holes to be filled. That's all I'm saying.
So okay, all right.
We can have supplements, but we don't need anyone to fill our hole.
All right, no holes to fill.
Right,
got it.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So since we have no holes, what we've been talking about is these extensions.
Yeah, I hate this. I hated this last quote. This is the one quote.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Cringe so much. Yeah,
because he said about extensions. This is something we quietly work on in the background, and I hope we find good deals. We certainly have good players. I hope we find the right deals, which is not easy to do. Then we're able to add some of those to the list from the Orioles. Which
Josh?
part? There's so many things wrong with this quote.
So many things.
All right, so let's break it down. What we quietly work in on the background. Do you really think they're having active conversations with Gunnar and Adley? Or
what I perceive, I hear quietly working in the background.
That means the player agent doesn't know.
Well, what I hear, it's not a priority, right?
Yes.
It's not a high priority.
Yep.
Like we got other stuff we're worried about. That's on the back burner. Yeah.
All right. How about I hope we find good deals? This is the stupidest part of that comment.
Oh, man. It's like we don't want to pay Adley Rutschman unless he takes a hometown discount.
Right.
We only want to get good deals, as in we want to rip off our players. We don't want to pay them what they're worth. We just want, to kind of trick them into getting. Listen, if you have great players, you pay money for great players.
Right.
This is not a discount. This is not Black Friday deals. Come on.
So next, we certainly have good players. All right, fine. There's something good you said.
Yeah.
Now he goes on. I hope we find the right deals, which is not easy to do. And then we're able to add some of those to the list from the Orioles.
Yeah.
Again, it's bargain bin shopping with your own players.
And you hope you find the right deal. Mike, you don't need to hope and pray about this thing. This is your job. Just do your job. I promise you, if you put enough zeros in there, it doesn't matter. You don't have to hope at all. You just put enough zeros in there, and he's signing the contract, whether you hope it or not.
Right, which is not easy to do. No, it's pretty easy. You talk with the agent, you say, what's it going to take? Because we're seeing the Braves do this. The Brewers do this. The Mariners, I think, were just doing this. You're seeing guys do this.
The Mariners did it with Julio Rodriguez. The Brewers just did it with their top prospect. The Braves have done this with all their prospects. Yeah. Other people are able to do this.
Now explain to me the last part of his quote, because this is where I get totally confused. Then we're able to add some of those to the list from the Orioles. What does that mean?
Maybe that was some with the question. Would that have something to do with the question?
Mike Elias on extensions. I hope we find the right deals, which is not easy to do. Then we're able to add some of those to the list from the Orioles.
Yeah, I think maybe the question has something to do with like other teams have been able to do this. And then he's saying, well, maybe the Orioles can be part of those other teams. And
maybe.
That's how I took it, but I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, because maybe the question was, hey, are you going to extend these guys like Milwaukee, like
right? Right.
All right. Because I read it as like, hey, we're looking for really good deals. Maybe they'll come from guys that are already on our roster.
Yeah.
So,
but that whole quote's a train wreck.
It's so discouraging. Yes.
Well, it's to the point where, and I don't want to overanalyze quotes because it's just one quote, and Mike Elias puts his foot in his mouth sometimes. And I'd rather him be great at his job and put your foot in your mouth than be a great talker and suck at your job. Like, I'd rather him be good at his job than talk about it well.
But that's a question you should have been prepared for. That's not a surprise question.
But what Mike Elias does, Josh, is seems to me to be very honest, almost to a fault with some of his responses. And this to me feels like honest to a fault. Like, this is how he really kind of feels. And this is what he's really doing, which is, here's my real concern. Mike Elias is brilliant. There's no one better, I think, in baseball at developing a team from scratch, drafting well, player development, infrastructure in the DR, all this stuff. Brilliant, bringing in great coaches, brilliant at it. What we don't know is, can he sign the big free agent? Can he make the trade? Can he extend his players? GMs have different strengths and weaknesses, right? Like, we know this. And that comment feels a little bit like he's going to be unable. If it's in the background, if he's just hoping about it, it feels like maybe he's not up to this. Like, maybe he's not up to the job, but this aspect of the job of extending your players, maybe it's not his strength.
Yeah. It's just.
But because, Josh, okay, let's do PR. How would you respond to that question?
Obviously, we would like to see Gunnar and Adley here for a long term.
Yeah, and we're working hard to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I don't even know if you need to add the we're
working to make it happen.
You just say, I hope to see them here and be lifelong Orioles.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well, I'm saying working to make it happen, not as a lie. I'm assuming that he's working to make it happen. Now, if he's not working to make it happen, I mean, you don't want to say that.
Right.
But if you're not working to make it happen, why?
Right.
Well, what more do you need to see from Gunnar and Adley? I mean, If anyone warrants an extension, it's Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman. You will not find three more slam dunk extension candidates out there. You won't.
No, and having those three guys all hit now is changing this franchise.
Yeah, and we could add Grace in discussion, but I know like certain pitching is a whole different ballgame. Right. So I'll even leave Grace Rodriguez out of this, though I think he could be in the discussion as well for an extension.
Yep, I hear you.
All right, I'm just saying we're going to talk about this next offseason, and every one of those players just got a lot more expensive. So also that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah. They will be.
So, I mean, it's always more expensive when you let other bidders in.
That's true. Josh, as we wrap up the show, this week during winter meetings, do you expect the Orioles to make any kind of significant trades, signings, or should I be refreshing Twitter each day? I had a coworker come to me yesterday, Josh. True story. Coworker came to me yesterday, and he said, "Did you hear about the Orioles?" And I got so excited. I said, "I haven't checked my phone all day. No, tell me what happened." And he said,
"About the lease."
No, worse. He said, "Gunnar Henderson won Rookie of the Year." I was like, I'm aware they won Rookie of the Year. I was hoping for some more little up to date, but we hadn't talked in a while, so that was come with that. And but I got excited there for a split second. I was like, "Oh, what is it?"
The Josh Hader rumors I am very intrigued by, because that's the type of deal that would get done at the winter meetings. Other than that, I don't know. I know Elias said he hopes to come out of it with a addition to the rotation. I am not confident on bringing anyone in.
Mike Elias also said he felt no urgency this winter meetings. No urgencies.
Right. I am going to say that no, we do not come home with anyone this week.
Yeah. All right.
What do you think? You expecting it?
It depends on the day you ask me.
I'm asking you now Tuesday at 9:00.
Yeah. No, I think they do something. I think they add either a trade or free agency. What I want to know, Josh, do you think what are the chances, not the Orioles sign Ohtani, I do think they make a significant deal.
I'm sure they're going to make a significant meal.
Well, Nashville, I don't know. Is food good in Nashville? I don't even know.
Yeah,
what is that? Barbecue?
Chicken. No, chicken.
I've never even been to Nashville. You been to Nashville?
I've been to Nashville once. Yeah.
Okay.
Long time ago. Some years ago.
Do you think like the Orioles even met with Ohtani or Ohtani's people?
So Elias answered that with, "Oh, well, I have no information on that, but you see people going in and out a lot." So I thought that he answered the right way because that's it. Like, hey, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, that's how you want to handle
That's
that.
how you want to handle it.
You got to handle that with the prima donna that is Ohtani.
I do not think we even had the conversation about Ohtani, which is crazy because if Peter Angelos doesn't care about baseball, but he cares about making money, he should sign Ohtani.
Well, at least consider the possibility.
Yeah.
As in meet with Ohtani, what is it going to take? Yeah,
right.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah. You want to get the Maryland state to give you a deal for some restaurants and all? Show them Ohtani's face on the side of that warehouse. That makes a statement.
Yeah. I'm curious to see also, like I'm fascinated about the whole timing of things. Because on the one hand, it seems like maybe you want to sign players now because there's a handful of teams out there who are waiting to get Ohtani, and I'm sure they're clutching their pocketbooks because they know they're going to steal a ton of money. And if they don't get Ohtani,
they got money to spend.
They're going to spend on these other players.
Yeah, totally.
So part of me is like, we should be kind of striking now before all these other teams are out on Ohtani and then start spending money on these other players.
Yeah. What I hate is
hater.
Right. Hopefully they can get something done this winter meetings because I hate the time that you have the winter meetings, then you have like another week, and then it's everyone's just, oh no, we can't do any work now because it's Christmas and New Year's, and wait till January.
Oh yeah, a few years ago when like with the Nelson Cruz and I think the Valdo Jimenez like dragged into February. Like, what do we?
Yeah, I hate that. Like, deal with it now. What's going to change between now and February? And you're right. What's going to change between now and February is a lot more money's going to be available because we'll know where Ohtani's going.
Yep. No, I agree. All right. Well, if anything does happen, we'll talk about it next week. And if it doesn't happen, we'll talk about what didn't happen next week as well. And we'll do a little rundown next week of the kind of who's left standing here. I mean, most people are still there. So there's still a lot of options if you're the Orioles. Every time a starting pitcher is signed, we all wring our hands. But there's still plenty of options out there. And if not, we'll roll with our guys. Orioles going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm not concerned.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Do your thing. Write a review on iTunes. Give us 5 stars if you haven't been already. Coconut, what are you waiting for? Go to iTunes and write us a review. Tell your friends about the show. We're still here every week during the off season. We might switch the day every now and then.
Right. And one of us might not show up once in a while.
Yeah.
But we still roll it.
We still roll with it. All right. You can follow us on all the social media platforms, including X at Section 336 Show. And you can follow me on X at Section 336. You can follow Josh on X
at Josh Soroka and at Thirdland Sports.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's. Sign somebody.